In 1975, Pippa Smith and I set up Paddington Print Shop, a community graphics centre in West London, with the unattractive invitation, come to our unheated, semi-derelict factory and homemade press to promote your cause on condition nothing sexist, racist, or commercial. It worked. Within days, the place was full, and soon numerous print shops based on our DIY model sprang up around the country. The print shop was an educational resource, and the first thing I learned was to listen, a skill notably absent from my fine art training. The second realization was that our role might extend beyond designing posters. Unwittingly, we became a hub to float ideas and mobilize. Let's start a campaign, open a women's centre, create a community farm, and so on. The print shop became an incubator for new organizations and resources, locally, nationally, and internationally. Things didn't change overnight, but during the 1980s, demand for posters waned. Rebranded as London Print Workshop, we turned to providing resources for artists alongside the continuation of our community activist role. In 1991, at Impact12, I presented our new plans for a purpose-built, fully accessible artist print facility and gallery, complemented by comprehensive community engagement and an MA program, London Print Studio. Over the past 2 decades, we supported thousands of artists and delivered dozens of community projects. Then, in October 2020, confronted by unremitting lockdown and a legacy of ever-dwindling state support, we closed that facility with a promise to return. Hello, we're back with LPS 21 and the launch of the Museum of Unrest. LPS 21 is London Print Studios Phoenix, an umbrella organisation supporting projects such as archives from our past and new initiatives like the Museum of Unrest, an educational resource for artists, designers, and communities engaged in social and environmental justice. We're proud to be launching the Museum of Unrest at Impact12. Occasionally, I've wondered how things might have turned out had we started in 1985 or later. The studio has a history of reinventing itself, but only once, back in 1975, did it have the freedom to start from scratch. Although it didn't feel like it at the time, that clean slate, everything is possible moment was an extraordinary, seemingly never to be repeated luxury. Unless, of course, you're overrun by a global pandemic and manage to turn the wolf at the door into your own pet truffle hunter, or something of that ilk. A key problem that haunted all our previous guises was the urgent need to prioritize tomorrow's destination over yesterday's debris. For years, the poster archive lay undisturbed. Then, in 2017, an email inquiry led to a collaboration with Four Corners Books and the publication of posters from Paddington Print Shop. Almost everyone agreed they'd survived the test of time. Many proposed that they were as relevant today as they had been 30 or 40 years before. Sadly, many of the themes are as important now as then. Struggles against discrimination, for justice and better housing. Our values haven't changed much either. Nothing sexist, racist, or commercial might need a little elaboration. Yet the issues are more acute. If in 1975 it was not unreasonable to fear that rich, powerful, and irrational interests might destroy all humans and half the planet, today we have scientific proof of their imminent success, supported by minute updates of their progress. But many other things, the way we organize, communicate, and distribute information, have changed so profoundly that I wager few today would respond to an invitation to an unheated, semi-derelict factory and homemade press to promote their cause. So, if we displace antiquated metaphors like new slates with the unbounded metaverse, where exactly might we go from here? And more precisely, how might we begin again? The Museum of Unrest is an idea predicated on the observation that many artists, designers, and communities are addressing issues of social and environmental justice with inspiring results. But this work is scattered and sometimes difficult to access because we lack the spaces dedicated to promoting, supporting, and embracing the common unity of these initiatives. These practices range from high-profile artworks in major international settings, such as Sonia Boyce's Feeling Her Way installation at the British Pavilion of the Venice Biennale in 2022, to open-source design projects such as A Litre of Light. Boyce's installation, which won the prestigious Golden Lion Award for the Best National Pavilion, features a collaboration between the artist and 5 Black female musicians. Boyce's work explores the questions: what does freedom look, sound, and feel like? A Litre of Light employs recycled transparent bottles filled with water, a little bleach, and some simple electronics to create solar lighting. From a small community initiative launched in the Philippines in 2011 by Impact12, Litres of Light today illuminate hundreds of thousands of homes throughout the developing world. Both projects, alongside many others, would be equally welcome in the Museum of Unrest. So too would the artists participating in the exhibition we've brought to this conference. Conversation Pieces contains works that provoke, invite, or record conversations about social issues. Included are street posters that I designed almost 40 years ago as part of a campaign that unveiled political corruption at the heart of Thatcher's Westminster, through to the more recent scandal of Grenfell Towers. Lilophilia's contribution is also steeped in a history and tradition of empowering graphics, which for her embraces Black feminist activism and the defense of endangered communities. David Palacios takes the data sets that underpin our institutional conversations, crime stats by police area, the economic cost of violence by country, etc., and converts their categories and percentages into an equivalent color palette from which he constructs images related to the data's topic. Nisa Khan's work addresses geography as a heterogeneous assemblage of power, colonial history, and collective memory. In 2019, Khan represented Pakistan at the 58th Venice Biennale with the project Menorah Field Notes. In this exhibition, we're presenting work that Khan created at London Print Studio, in which she recreated pages from a 1960s naval almanac discovered in Menorah. However, integrated into these reconstructions are fragments of political speeches eaten into the pages by Urdu and English literate bookworms. Naha Matsuda's This City Is harvests the Twitter sphere to gather real-time global urban conversations. When a viewer enters a city's name in a box at the lower right of the screen, they are instantly confronted with contemporary comments being made about that location. The project is live on the internet. Naho has also created city site-specific installations, such as projecting a continuous real-time commentary about Bristol onto the facade of the city's central library in 2020. So why have we chosen to launch the Museum of Unrest at Impact12? Firstly, because our history is entwined with print, and secondly, because I'm sure that, while open to all visual art and design disciplines, the Museum of Unrest will continue to have close links to the printmaking community, and vice versa. The Museum of Unrest has neither roof nor walls. It aims to be an internet hub with outreach projects, documenting, linking, initiating, and promoting real-world actions. It is inspired by abstract values, justice, creative democracy, and inclusivity. It is homeless, stateless, global, and in need of friends, allies, collaborators, contributors, and supporters. Almost half a century of creating organizations, building studios, and developing projects has taught me that you can't do these things alone. They grow, sometimes in unexpected directions, from multiple conversations and collaborations. This presentation is an open invitation to join this process, to help us build and shape an organization that will support engagement of art and design in social and environmental justice, and to explore how we can develop and sustain a network and resource dedicated to this goal. Thank you.